Hi everyone, let's do a quick demo of ExamPrep. So when you go to prep.madui.com, you see this page. You want to log in with your GitHub account. So let me authorize this. And so this is the landing page for it, and it kind of looks like the ExamFlow application, whereas in the ExamFlow you have a card here that guides you to join a live exam. Here you go to your practice pages. And so there are a number of different ways here to create a practice exam. I'm going to show you a quick one. So I'll click on this create practice exam. I'm going to give it a title, let's say test 1. You can give it an optional description, give it like if you're planning for whatever duration that you think this test fits in. So let's go with 60 minutes for now. You can give it some tags as well. So I don't know, JavaScript, something like that. That doesn't really matter. The only thing you need here is the title and the duration. So you say create the practice exam, and it kind of looks like this. Here is where you actually add content. So you add text are always, questions are always text, and then the response blocks can be text response or code response. So let's go create a question, like question 1, write a hello world in JavaScript. And so I save this, and then when I exit this, I see the preview of it. You kind of put the exam together in a linear format. So I'm going to give a code response block. So this is a code response. Now, if you want to edit this, what happens is that you can choose the programming language, which JavaScript is the correct one. You can even add some starter content. So in this case, it doesn't really make much of a sense, but anyways, we still do it. Print hello world to console, something like that. And you save this and you close this. And so it doesn't really preview how this looks like, but you would see how it looks like when you actually take the exam. Let's maybe go add another question. So question 2, and again, you can like preview how this looks like. Explain the difference between const and let. So save this, and this one needs a text response. So again, it's even possible to like add a starter content to text block. I don't think that really makes sense here, so I'm just going to cancel this. So this is the test now. You've created the test. You can go back to my practices. You see test 1 is here. This is the tag of it. If you had a description, that description would show up here. And so now what you can do is, if you want to edit it, obviously you're going to click on the edit. All right, so you come back here and edit the questions. There's some other actions here, like I'm going to talk about export as markdown, but yeah, you can archive, remove to a collection. These are for like organizing it. But the part that's important is starting the practice. So you go and you say, I want to start practicing this. Then you basically have 2 modes for practice. You can do a time session or do it basically untimed, if that way you're more comfortable. So let's go for a time session now, and it's just 2 questions. So I just put like 5 minutes here to start the practice. And so you get this view that looks more or less similar to the actual exam taking app, but it doesn't have any of the security monitorings active here, which makes sense because this is a practice exam, and so it's not going to complain to you like if this is not full screen, but you know, you can go full screen. And so you've got, you should know the rest of it, right? This is like, you can go on a split view, so you have questions on this side, answer areas on this side, like resize this however you want. And so let's go and, I don't know, answer one of these, console log hello world. I can even make this bigger. Save this and say like I'm good with this one I don't really know the answer. You know you can like change the scale of the size of the questions. You can go to dark mode if you're more comfortable that way. But yeah, so at the end you can click on submit, or you can let the time run out, or you can even like close this tab and it will automatically submit it. But I'm just going to go click on the submit exam. So you want to submit it? Yes, I want to submit it. So now I've submitted it. Now it knows that you took it 1 time, so you have the option to repeat this as many times as you want. You also have the option of going into the history and see that like at this date and time, you actually took this, attempted this. You can delete it if you don't like to keep the record of it. You can review it. You can go back and be like, oh, okay, this was the first question. This was my answer. This was the second question, and I didn't provide an answer. So there's this. And then the part that I want to show you is how you export this. So let's say you created a test and you want to share it with a friend. So go here and say export as markdown. So it goes and exports that file, and let me drag that file into VS Code and show you how that looks like. So notice that like there is at the top, there's this front matter that has the title, duration. If I have any tags, if I had a description, it would come here. This is the part that it actually notice this part, and this is something that I made up for my application. So every question is contained within a pair of HTML comments that like it's annotated with the type of is a response code or a response text, right? So if I wanted to like create a new question here, I can say block, and then inside of it I would go and write a new question. So you don't have to like use titles. That's how I like the headings. I use the headings, but you can write this however you want and say, I don't know, like write a loop that prints numbers from 1 to 100. Would it be awesome if the exam was this easy? So then you want to give a response code, right? And so you use this pair. This is the response code, and let's go and repeat that. And I don't know, let's do question 4 and ask another question. What does it mean that JavaScript, what does it mean that in JavaScript, that functions in JavaScript are first class citizens? Okay, so this is a text response, so you change that to text, right? Let me change this to like test2. And I'm going to take this, export it out. I'm going to take the tags out to just simplify it. I want to show you how you can actually import this, right? So the way I actually write your exam is all in Markdown. I don't really use the UI to do this. So I'll just write it like this in Markdown. And so this is something then you can also, you know, ask your favorite AI coding assistant or AI assistant in general to generate this for you. You can give this as an example, and you can have it to, I don't know, generate a set of questions for you. That's probably a good way of using AI, by like looking at the lecture notes and trying to, or seeing some sample questions and trying to create similar ones. Or you can just like copy the practice questions here and then import them in the exam. By the way, again, if you want to like provide a sort of a starter code, you can just put a code block in here. So even an empty code block with a JS, then it means the default it sets for the programming language is going to be JavaScript, and maybe you put something here like for, and then you put like comment like to do complete me, and then you go here in the block and you put another to do implement the body of the loop, something like that. Okay, so now this file is saved. So whether you created it from scratch or you first created some of it in the app and then exported and then modify it, you can import this back again. And this is, again, it's going to be a way for you to like share code with other students. Like if you created a exam that, you know, you can then just pass that Markdown to another student and they can import it for themselves. Or, you know, you can work with a bunch of other students. Each one of you maybe try to come up with a handful of questions and then combine them all together into one exam. Okay, so let's go and see how this works now. So I can go and say import from Markdown, and you can drag and drop, or you can like select and browse and find the file. So open it, parsed it, it says it's valid, and then you say import as new, and so it got all the blocks. You say continue, and so this is now the test, right? So question 1 is as before, question 2 is same as before, question 3 and 4 are the ones that I just added, right? So you can go back and let's say you want to attempt the second practice. This time, let's say we're not going to time it. So start the practice. So there you go. The question 1 is same as before, 2 is same as before, and then this is the third question that we created, right? And this is the fourth one that we created. And so let's say I just submit this without actually really completing it. So there you go. Now it's submitted. It has my record, and I can take a look at it. And like I didn't really provide any answers, right? But again, you can share this with other people, and they can work with it. There are other features built into this that we're not going to explore here, and this is a work in progress. So you may find bugs and issues. I've been working on this. And the goal is that eventually it's not going to be, unfortunately for your cohort, obviously, you know, this is the end of the semester, but The goal is that in the future this has more, that maybe I can share some practice exams with people. It's going to have other things like flashcards and things like that, so it would help students to study and get prepared for exam taking. All right, I hope you find some use of this before your final exam. Thank you everyone.